They used to call me Crazy Joe. Well, now they can call me Batman.
Good morning. Welcome back to Crazy Joe's Concession Stand. I'm Crazy Joe with another physical media review for you today. This is another one that comes from our friends at Warner Archive. Warner Archive has been doing a wonderful job, and we've talked about it on this channel. I've had previous reviews, but they've been doing a wonderful job restoring and putting out classic complete series of Hanna-Barbera cartoons on Blu-ray. In recent months, we've had the reviews here on this channel. They did Magilla Gorilla, great job, complete series of Magilla Gorilla. They did Top Cat, Wait Till Your Father Gets Home, Frankenstein Jr. and the Impossibles. These are the last bunch they put out, and they were all good. And we have another one. They've done another one. This time it is Wacky Races. Let's hold that over here. The Wacky Races complete series is now available on Blu-ray from our friends at Warner Archives. Now, if you're not familiar, Wacky Races was a Saturday morning cartoon series in which a bunch of wacky cartoon characters in different cars, all of them had distinctive cars, they would go on these little races, and every week there would be a different winner. You had there's the character Penelope Pitstop, you had Peter Perfect, and the most popular characters from this show, Dick Dastardly and Muttley. Dick Dastardly and Muttley would go on to be used in a variety of different Hanna-Barbera cartoons over the years, but this is where they originated from. I think Dastardly and Muttley were the only ones who never won the Wacky Races because they were the cheaters. They were always trying to hold everyone else back. And there were two spin-offs of this show. You had The Perils of Penelope Pitstop. She got her own show, and Dastardly and Muttley and Their Flying Machines, which was, I think, even more popular than the Wacky Races. Now, I have a confession to make. I am a big Hanna-Barbera fan. I grew up watching Hanna-Barbera cartoons on Saturday mornings. I love Hanna-Barbera cartoons. I had never seen the Wacky Races. Obviously, I knew Dick Dastardly from his later appearances, especially he was the villain of the ride at Universal Studios Florida. Universal Studios Florida had a wonderful ride called The Fantastic World of Hanna-Barbera, in which Dick Dastardly and Muttley kidnapped Elroy Jetson, and you were on a plane piloted by Yogi Bear, chasing Dick Dastardly to try to save Elroy. So this is a character I'm very familiar with, even though I never saw the show where he originated. I'll tell you, and something else interesting, one of the teams on the Wacky Races is a pair of cavemen. You can kind of see them in the corner here. What's their name? The Sludge Brothers or Slug Brothers? I'm blanking. I should know it. I just watched about 4 episodes. But these guys would become the inspiration for Captain Caveman. These two brothers, the Sludge Brothers, I think, they became the inspiration for Captain Caveman. You could say they look just like Captain Caveman. Captain Caveman and the Teen Angels would appear a couple years later. That's where they got the design. And they're very Captain Caveman-like in their behavior, except they don't have superpowers. Captain Caveman obviously has superpowers. He's a superhero. They don't, but they look like them. They kind of talk like them, and they keep whacking each other over the head with clubs. So let's see. We do have a couple special features on here. We have a great documentary on the history of the Wacky Races, Rear View Mirror, a look back at the Wacky Races. That is very blurry, isn't it? Rear View Mirror, a look back on the Wacky Races. There's also a feature on the spinoffs, Penelope Pitstop and Dastardly and Muttley and Their Flying Machines. And then there's a little interesting trivia track. Some trivia about the show. I watched all these special features, and then there's commentaries on select episodes. What you get here is 2 discs containing every episode of the series. As you can see, each disc has the episode titles written right on them. That's very handy. I love that feature. I love when they do that. So you can easily find the episode you're looking for. All the special features are on disc 2. This is manufactured by Warner Archives. Warner Archives makes these discs on demand, so you won't be finding this in any brick and mortar stores. You will have to get this online, either through Amazon or the Warner Archives website, but it's available now. Now, I got to be honest with you. Like I said, I've never really seen the Wacky Races before, and even though I was familiar with the characters, I've heard of the Wacky Races. This is not one of my favorite Hanna-Barbera cartoons. Now that I've seen it, it's a little too. It's just races. It's just races. Like, I mean, obviously the characters try to there's some bad guys. There's the Anthill Gang. They're gangsters. Obviously, Dick Dastardly's a bad guy, but the bad guys are trying to screw over the good guys, try to give them misdirections. Like in one of the first episodes, the Anthill Gang stops at a cottage, and it's the cottage of the 7 dwarves. But the 7 dwarves aren't home, so the Anthill Gang, there's 7 of them. They disguise themselves as the 7 dwarves, and then Penelope Pitstop stops there, and they give her bad directions. And then Dastardly gets there, and they give him bad directions. And it's like, ha, we gave them bad directions. Then they get in their car. But it's just races with people trying to kind of, trip each other up and take the lead. I watched 4 episodes so far, and it's very formulaic. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing if that's what you're into, but I love old Hanna-Barbera cartoons. This is definitely not amongst my favorites. I think the spin-offs of this show were better than this show. So a tip of the hat to the show for giving us characters like Dick Dastardly and Muttley, who would go on to bigger and better things, but I don't love the Wacky Races, I have to say. But maybe you do. Maybe you grew up with it. Maybe it's something you watched every Saturday morning. And if it is, comment down below. Tell me your memories of the Wacky Races. You could pick this up now on Blu-ray. Thank you to Warner Archives, who's doing a wonderful job. Oh, let's not bury the lead. The episodes look great. They look great. They sound great. They look wonderful. As they've doing a wonderful job, as they've done with all these others. So it's great to add one more classic Hanna-Barbera series to our Blu-ray shelves. So hopefully they'll do something like Jabberjaw next. I say that every review. Every time I review one of these, I go, maybe Jabberjaw will be next. I think Jabberjaw and Help It's the Hair Bear Bunch are probably 2 of my favorite old Hanna-Barbera cartoons. So I don't know, bear with me. Those are the ones I really want. But thank you to Warner Archives for sending this. You've done a wonderful job, and definitely worth picking up if you're a fan of animation, if you're a fan of Hanna-Barbera. All right, everyone. Until next time, keep wearing those pajamas.
Keep wearing those pajamas with the plastic feet. Keep wearing those pajamas. Tell everyone you meet. Keep wearing those pajamas with the back door flap. Keep wearing those pajamas. Don't open it, it's a trap. Oh no, it's a trap. Some people call them PJs, some people call them jammies. They can come embroidered with big money and no whammies. They can have 100 tiny commander pajamas, but no matter how they look, just keep on wearing those pajamas. Keep on wearing those pajamas. Keep wearing those pajamas. And now we're having fun. Keep wearing those pajamas. And now the song is done.